Well, hello. And I guess you are here. Can you see yourself? Oh, you're there twice. Wait a minute. Can you see yourself? Oh, wait a minute.
Yes,
You see yourself twice or what?
I
I
do.
do.
I got to figure out which one to take off. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, but there's still an echo like I'm there twice. Let's do this.
Okay, I can take you. Okay, you hear the echo? Uh-oh. All right,
Hi,
folks, we gonna be right with you. We're trying to. Okay, now I can't hear you. What's going on? Oh, okay. Well, you're gonna have to come out of one of those. Yeah. Okay. Hey, everybody. We're having some technical difficulties, so Shona is gonna come out. Well, she's gone out and she's gonna come back in, and she'll be right back with us. Okay, you're here with the Slim and Shona show from P Town to ATM, and I think she's coming back now. Should be coming in. All right. Can you hear me? Look like you. What's going on
I can
there?
hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes. Okay. We are here. Here we
We
are,
back
the
in
Slim and
business.
Shona show, and I guess what happened, Shona, we had a pre-talk before the show, and we talked so long, and I guess
Man,
we
we had a show before the show.
must have hit another button or something like that. I don't know. Maybe we just need some laughter.
I like
But
it.
anyway, welcome everybody. We're gonna be here and we're gonna talk about a few things. And all right, that's enough. It's enough laugh. Like I said, I think after a while you're laughing at me, not with me. But we're gonna talk about a few things this evening. And thanks for joining us. And make sure you subscribe. And let me tell you, you need to like every show that comes on too. You don't have to subscribe but once. So if you already subscribed, you're fine. But make sure
Yes,
every
you
time,
do.
huh?
Yes, you do. You have to subscribe. I have
No,
my
well,
hands
no.
on my hips. You have to subscribe. It's free.
Once you subscribe, you're in there. I'm saying you have to like every time. I'm sorry. Don't let me say. I said once you have subscribed, you don't have to do it anymore. You're already in there. You have to
Okay.
like you have to like each show so we can get those numbers up. So anyway,
Yes.
that took your job anyway because that's your job to say that. So
This is
so
true.
what do we talk about today? And
I think we need to continue that conversation. I need to
yeah, we
put something
we
on the table because we got to talk about this.
yeah.
Uh,
Let me
I
show
need
you
some
something first.
opinions
This
too.
is this is some of the stuff that I be
Wow.
trying to look at, and then it's a monitor on the wall there that I try to keep up with, and I just wanted to. I can't play this long, but I wanted to.
You're high tech over there.
No, if I was high tech, I would have had this on by now.
Yeah.
Take you back to 1972
Yes, it
with
does.
Al Green. Okay, can't play much of it, or I'll get a copyright strike. But just some of the I'll be playing little snippets of some of the other songs from our day. But anyway, what did you want to talk about? Well, I guess we're going to talk about what we were talking about before the show came on. Interesting subject that other people might be having the same issues.
Okay, so here's the thing. Um, I got a call last week from uh, from my granddaughter. Um, she said that her daughter, which is my great granddaughter, she is 7 years old. She's a beautiful little chocolate drop with big old curly puff balls most of the time. That's my baby. So my granddaughter said that she told her, well, mommy, you and my older sister and the new baby, you are all light skinned. And we're not light skinned, we're dark skinned. Y'all don't belong here. I said, what?
Wow.
She said,
The
that's
age again, 7.
7 years old. And she also said, y'all are not black.
Wow. And what is a second? She's in the second grade, I assume, right?
Yes.
And because a kid just doesn't come up with that,
Where
something
did
like
that
that on their own.
where did that come from? So now I would like to enlist the assistance of our viewers. What would be your next move to address this situation? I'm sure this had to come from somewhere because with children, they really, I can't say they don't see color, but they're just different people. They don't attach any significance to skin color usually, especially not at that age. They'll play with just about anybody as long as they're friendly and they have that vibe going, you know. Um,
Yes,
and
especially at that age.
it just made me reflect on all of the years of my own life. I've encountered a multitude of people who are what the old people used to call color struck. Um, there's a preference, Um, most people like either light skin or dark skin. They're not really judging people by who they are.
Yeah, even in our own community. I mean, and we talk about some people that prefer white. They want to be with white people, but even in our own community, we have issues, or we've had issues with color. I think we
Absolutely.
talked about this one time, but we were kind of joking. But it can be something that's can be devastating for a
Deep
teenager.
seated. Yes. And I've encountered a lot of people who actually have a complex about their skin tone.
Now you're talking about lighter hue
Darker
because you.
people.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because usually the darker people are the ones that have the issues, but it can be the same for the lighter people by being prejudged. And you
Exactly.
mentioned about how people before they knew who you were, oh, she thinks she's
They
cute.
judge you. They judge you.
Yeah.
You don't even know me. How can you not like me? You don't even know me.
Oh, I don't
You
like
never
that.
even met me. You're jealous because of my skin tone, because I wear nice things or whatever. That's so ugly.
Yeah.
But
Or
that's
like we,
the world.
or like I mentioned, they jealous of your hair, not realizing the struggles you might have with your hair. Especially you mentioned about when the '70s came and everybody was sporting the afro, and the effort it took for you just to get your hair to stand up.
Exactly.
And I was just grew
Exactly.
up, all
I
we had
was
to do
doing that
was
too,
pick it out.
so I had gone, well, I can't say all of my life because I really didn't start having my hair pressed out until I was like in the sixth grade. I want to say I was getting ready
Hmm.
to go to S.H. Clark because I wanted my hair straight like everybody else's. That's when my mother allowed me to stop wearing ponytails every day, little twists and all of that stuff. Now I can wear my hair flowing.
Yeah. So at first, before the afros, at first it was like you wanted your hair straight. Yeah, and a lot of people that might have been darker wanted that curly hair,
Mm,
and some people that were darker might have had it, but it was a little. It was more rare for a darker person to have the curly hair, and they wanted the curly hair. And the people with the curly hair were straightening their hair because they wanted it straight, and it was more manageable straight, I guess. But
yeah,
don't let somebody throw you in the water. That hair would frizz right up, and but I think that's any black female had that issue. But get back to the coloration thing.
but my
What?
baby,
Yeah, I
it's
mean, what?
so misguided at this point.
Yeah, at this
Why would
point,
you
and
say?
what?
Why would you tell your mommy you're not black and you
You're
don't
not
belong
black.
here because you're not dark like me?
And how do you deal with that? Because they spend so much time.
Exactly.
Obviously, she got it from somebody at school, and they spend so much time there. And I guess you have to, as a parent, have to spend even more time with them. You know,
And you have
convincing them or letting them know how beautiful they are, or you know,
and
it
you have to
doesn't
talk to
matter.
your children. You have to know what they're thinking,
Right?
uh, who they're talking to, and what they're talking about. You have to be nosy. You got to be in their business
Yeah.
because if you're not, man, they could be heading down a road you can't even see coming.
Yeah. And then that's why we were saying earlier too, when kids are born, they have no idea, and you get a white kid and a black kid, they playing, but they growing up in a different kind of environment in the house. So they grow up. They might grow up to be the biggest racists, but had some of the best friends, when they were younger and didn't see color. But then the environment just changed. Just they just turned into or was a product of the environment.
You know
One way or
what?
another.
It's probably one of those little girls in the neighborhood that she makes mud pies with every day outside. Yeah.
Yeah, but you remember, think about it. I mean, we used to get all them stories from the guys in the neighborhood, and completely around about sex and girls, and you know, the anatomy. Completely wrong. Everything.
You say so.
Some of it was right, but it was completely wrong until we learned the real way. And so your influences as a kid, and you're
All
so
your
easy, you're
peers.
so vulnerable,
All your
you know,
peers.
right?
Mostly.
And you're
Especially
there.
back then because people didn't talk as openly as they do now. Everything wasn't right out front like it is now. Um, and so that had a
Because I said so. That
yeah,
was a
exactly.
that was the
That's
answer
the generation
to
we grew up in because I
every
said,
question.
and
Because I
you
said
won't
so.
ask anything else, okay?
Yeah, I don't have time to explain this, or I don't
Okay.
know how to explain it. So you just do it because I said so. And
So
that was a mistake. But we did have those opportunities where our parents told us some things, but not like today. And so your great this is a great grandchild. The mama, the parents are going to have. You don't think about having talks like that until they preteen or something like that. But
yes.
at 7, the kids are exposed to a lot more now. If she's not getting it from the kids at school or in the neighborhood, TV, streaming.
That's
I mean,
true.
you can try to block out as much as you can, but they'll find a way to watch even stuff that's not blocked.
Exactly.
Certain things will say
Cartoons
it.
have some questionable
Yeah,
subject matter these
even
days.
cartoons. They're not like the cartoons we watched. When it was really simple. So I don't envy parents now that have to
Me
you
either.
know uh, go through those situations at such an early age. Trying to explain something to a 7-year old
Yes.
uh, that has communicated with another 7-year old, and they communicate probably better than a parent trying to explain it. So sometimes you have to get down to their level. I don't know,
Okay,
but
so
that's
you don't know. I'd like to know from our viewers. Please comment, even if not today. If you watch the playback, please, I would like to know your take on this situation. What should be the next move? How should this be handled? What would you do
yeah.
if your
Or
child
have you
did
or
something
have
like
you gone through it? And
yeah,
hopefully, if you haven't gone through it, this might help you. Somebody
yeah,
might have some good advice, and
yes.
when you're parents, especially when you're young parents and you're your first child, you kind of playing it by ear. You might have watched some of the things your parents did, but a lot of
Trying to
those things
figure it
that happen, you playing it by ear. You know,
Trying to figure it out.
yeah. You seen those commercials? Did you do this in the commercial where your first child, you're so careful about everything, and that second child, you know, you're a vet now. You're not worrying about germs as much, and you know, did you go through that? Were you more comfortable with the second one, and really cautious, overly cautious, sometime with the first one?
I would have to say that was not my experience because my children were so close together. My
Oh,
two
okay.
girls are actually 13 months apart, so it was almost like having twins.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So
So
you were learning, but by the time the second one came, you were still in elementary school, still learning.
yes, just two different size diapers.
Right. Wow. Well, that's the thing. But hopefully, people will tune in. I mean, will hopefully somebody will tune in here
That
and make a comment. If not,
I would
they'll
appreciate it.
watch it later and give a comment because that's an interesting thing. I
It
never
is.
thought about it at 7. I don't think I had to. Well, one thing, uh, Jamie was coming here on the summer because she left, with her mother real early. But we had that relationship, but not a lot of those talks like that. I think her mother had with her. You know, by the time she came here during the summer, um, we just, I mean,
She
you
just
know,
want to have fun with daddy.
yeah, it was every summer when she would come down, I would get really nervous and anxious, because each time, even if I saw her at Christmas, or a few times during the year, seemed like, especially when they're young like that, seemed like every time it started, she got a little bigger and bigger. And I said, okay, well, I don't know what she has been through, so I don't know what to do. If she asked me a question, and she very seldom got into some really deep stuff with me. I think her mother did that.
Okay.
Like maybe in some instances, most girls do go to their mother for certain things. You know, uh, especially when they're young. I guess when they start talking to their dad, they're a little bit older. But it's so much goes on with a young girl that the mother, you know, is more equipped to handle that. Is that what you think? I can't see a man, explaining some things,
I really,
but
really
I'm sure
feel
some have.
for single men parents
You're right. I'm sure
who
they've
have
had to,
daughters. That has to be very difficult because
but it's something you just have to do. You know, especially when they get in that pre-teen stage and the body starts changing,
But
how does the man?
how much do you as a man really know about
y-
the changes in the body of a
Yeah,
female preteen, you know?
yeah, because you can't tell them how it feels. Some of those changes are subtle, and some of them are kind of difficult. You know, and only another female can tell you exactly what to expect and how to do certain things. But I'm sure it's been men out there that just had to learn on the job, and they had to step up and do what they had to do.
I
Sure it
think
was uncomfortable for them.
maybe as far as the scenario that I posed with my great
Hmm.
granddaughter, perhaps at some point we can have another one of our professionals on to
Yeah,
address that.
yeah, because I think that's something that people might need to know because of what we said earlier. I think the kids are learning more things quicker. You know,
No question.
remember I joked about me still being a sophomore in high school and believing in Santa Claus, but that was a joke. But I surely was still watching cartoons on
Okay.
Saturday mornings and still
Okay.
and the Three Stooges. So, but the kids are. I mean, I sat down and listened to my granddaughter, and just listening to her have a conversation and some of
Hmm.
the words she used at
Amazing.
7. I mean, not bad words. So I'm just
Different now.
saying,
Yes.
um,
How
how do
mature
you?
they are.
And then sometimes we would ask her, okay, so what does that mean? And she could define it. You know how they tell you don't use words you don't know the meaning of.
Yes.
Because somebody might ask you, I don't understand. What does that mean? And then you're going to look more like a fool, not knowing. You're using it because you heard somebody else use it. Then you might use it out of content. And
Clearly, children are exposed to a lot more than we were
yeah,
at their different ages,
yeah.
and
But I
it
was
does
really
make
surprised.
make them a lot more. Well, we've always heard the saying, "Man is getting wiser and weaker," and
Mm,
that's a prime example because children are wiser than they were at the same age generations before. Because they're
yeah.
exposed to a lot more. They learn a lot more. You know, they have these these mechanical devices that
Mm.
some of us can't even
They
operate.
really have to, right? They have to
But they're
use
growing
their
up with it,
brain.
and it's full of knowledge, and they
Hmm.
have a chance to explore through it. They see a lot of things that we never knew about at that same age when we were growing up. It's truly a different world.
One thing I noticed that the relationship between my daughter and her daughter that she would ask her, "Mama, can I watch this?" And then she would look at it and say, "No, no, don't want you to watch that," because she knows she can't lock out everything. You can lock, she has a little tablet, and you can lock out so much, and even YouTube for kids. Certain things she has to sort of monitor and say, "No, I don't want you," because it might be a little too violent, and even though it's for kids.
Yeah.
So, but she's in that habit, and I don't know if she just did it around us or when she's by herself, she just watches what she wants. But far as I know, she was asking her, "Can I watch this, mommy?" And mommy would say, "No, watch, find something else." You know,
That's very good. I think
yeah,
one of the best things that a parent can do in this day and time is to stay in tune with their child,
yeah,
to
and
know,
what your
like your
child is
brother.
watching.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't just sit them in front of a TV.
You can't make that device be a babysitter. No, no.
Yeah,
That
like
can get them in a
so
lot of
many
trouble.
so many in our generation did that. But how much could we get exposed to watching TV when it was just three channels and you know nothing was on that was really
And you
you
couldn't
know
sneak and watch in the middle of the night like these kids can stream
yeah
at three
yeah
o'clock in the morning if they want to, because TV was off at midnight. Certainly by 1 o'clock, by 1 a.m. You
yeah
saw that flag furling in the wind.
yeah
And that was
and
it. It
yeah
was
it was so
that.
crazy we sit there and watch them play the national anthem. I mean the TV is going off. Why are we sitting here watching them play
But since you bring
till the
that up,
chest pattern came
I'll
on?
bet you most children nowadays cannot even sing the national anthem. They don't even know the words.
Well, that might not be a bad thing for a black child not to know the words to the national anthem.
But by the same
It's
token, they
so
don't know the
hypocritical.
Negro national anthem either.
Yeah, and now that's harmless. But some of the words to you know the Star Spangled Banner, especially the second stanza, but nobody sings that. But some of them can be problematic. If you think about the history, written by a racist. But anyway, that's another
Another
story.
show.
But at least know the Negro national anthem, and I don't know if they sing that, but you do see a lot of events now that will do both of them, and then you get the people complaining about it. But do you remember if we sang it? Did we learn it in elementary, or maybe during Black History Month? We
Yeah,
might have sang it, but it
yes.
wasn't
I don't
a
think they do
regular
that
thing.
now.
I know, yeah, and you're a singer. I know it was one of the most difficult. You know, soon as I would get on a tone that I can handle, then the thing went, sing a song. I said, oh man, I was doing okay. Now y'all done switched the melody.
Do the best you
You have to
can
be
with
in a
it.
choir.
You can. Uh, the point is knowing the song and knowing what it means, what it represents.
Yeah, what it represents.
And we don't have enough of that taught in this day and time, I feel.
Yeah. So
Because
how do you think you think the young parents are taking up or they have the time to take up the slack where they're taking away some of these things that will be taught in school that should be taught in school? And I guess the thing is they're saying it's up to the community, the parents and the community now to make sure that we pass that information on that they don't get, you know,
I don't think
because
it's being done enough, though.
it's probably not. I think if you really question some of the young people now about some of the Black history, unless they are really into it and they are taking the initiative to do their own studying, but some things you learn because it's there to be taught, and if it's not there to be taught, you're not going to pick it up. I mean, if they didn't teach us about Booker T. Washington and all the people that we did learn about, we wouldn't have known about them either. But and now they trying to take most of that away. So hopefully the parents will take up the slack or the community. Like you got these in the neighborhoods, you got these books. I don't know, do they do that in Atlanta? Certain places where people can donate books and they have this container in the neighborhood, and you hope that people don't abuse it or steal the books out of there. But it's in certain neighborhoods they have this a box or something like that where people can just go there and put books in there, and
Um,
anybody, kids in the neighborhood, can come and just get a book
I am
and,
not
and it's
aware.
there and own the book. You know,
I am
and
not
and you
aware that they have that in Atlanta, and no, you really can't hope that nobody comes and steal them, because somebody's gonna come and steal them.
yeah, instead of taking one, take
This is
all
Atlanta.
of them that are in there.
This is
So
Atlanta.
I'm gonna have to. I never thought I'm gonna have to because I've been to different. Because when they do that, it's kind of an event thing. So they have people come there and people make speeches and
That's
and
awesome.
whoever usually a citizen donates. the box, and then people just bring books there. So I have to check
I've
into that
never
and
heard of
see.
that happening in Atlanta.
Yeah, we have a few neighborhoods in Cavalier Manor and Prentice Park. There's a few
Mhm.
places where they do that,
Okay,
and I've
that's good
seen
to
them.
know.
Some people vandalize them just to do that, but so don't throw your books
But
away if
it's a
you.
good suggestion.
Yeah,
It's
we
definitely a
we
good
got to get
suggestion.
the kids to reading.
I doubt that they have that here because I've never heard of it until you spoke on it.
Yeah, well, maybe you can start one in your neighborhood,
I'm in the
way
country.
out there in the woods. Have books in there teach you how to chop wood. And no, I'm just joking.
Okay.
You're
Moving
not
right
that far in the
along.
woods.
No, I'm
Ha-
not.
ha- Have
I
you
do
heard
have.
of Gordon State College?
I've heard of it. Where is it?
I don't know what county. I think it's almost like that's where my daughter teaches, and it's one of those smaller colleges in Atlanta.
I've heard of Gordon.
Gordon State College,
And yes, it would be a small
and she
one.
said it's out there in the middle of nowhere. It's just a campus, and like one of those places where the whole
Ah,
town is the
it's in
campus.
Barnesville, Georgia. That is very
Okay,
small.
but
Okay.
that's a small neighborhood. It's probably the college is the neighborhood probably.
Yes, it's
It-
55 miles south of Atlanta.
mm, yeah, but she does it virtually. Oh, and I told you I did tell you she had an accident and broke her ankle.
Oh my. What? That's horrible to happen at a funeral.
No,
You're
well, it
already
didn't
dealing with
happen.
enough.
Luckily, it
Okay.
didn't. She said she was glad it didn't happen there because if she was here before she
Oh,
was going to take the flight back to, and she was getting gas and somehow got tangled up, and it was swollen with emergency room, and it was so luckily things work out. That was bad, but things work out. She teaches virtually, so
okay. And she
but
was she was close to dad.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
excellent.
it was just one of those freak things, and I still feel bad about that because she came down to take us. I think she would have gone anyway for her uncle, but and then to get here and on her way back, that happened. Yeah,
Aw.
you know how you wish it was you. You know how you wish stuff
Yeah.
would happen to you
I
rather
think
than your kids.
things tend to happen the way that they should.
Yeah, yeah,
So it was from both perspectives. I think it was a good thing that it happened there.
yeah. Instead
She
of
had
yeah,
more bonding time with you, and you had a chance to make her feel like daddy's here for you.
yeah. That was
You having a party over there, James?
yeah. I'm getting ready to
Bust a
play
move?
something else. These songs that you had your boyfriend and y'all were
Uh-uh.
and you asked him what are you doing tonight? He said I'll be around.
Really, James? Oh, my. You're taking some people way back, and some people are like, what is that?
Yeah, got to watch that copyright thing. But you know what I watch a lot is I watch the reaction channels on YouTube where the younger people play these songs from the 70s, 60s,
Really?
70s,
I'm
and
not familiar with that.
80s up to 90. And I just get a kick out of them watching it and realizing how good that music is. Or they'll hear a song by an older group and say, I know
It's
that
been
song
sampled,
because
yes.
a rapper had sampled it
Sampled
and
it, yeah.
they think they heard it for the first time and somebody did it in 1969, you know,
That's a
like
good
James.
example of the next point I'd like to make. I firmly believe that there are a lot of younger people who have no idea whose shoulders they stand on.
Yeah. Yeah.
They haven't been
And
taught their heritage. They don't know the importance or the significance of certain behaviors because they haven't we haven't always had the freedoms that we had to fight and lose life and lose blood for to get where we are today. They don't know
mm,
anything about that.
yeah, and I'm still standing on the shoulders of people that came through here in Portsmouth. You know, my dad and a lot of other people, especially a lot of the teachers that we had, and you just never stop. And you're right. They should. That's like we talking about history. They should know that history and know who came before them and what they sacrificed and how they paved the way and how they probably should be doing the same thing or aspire to do the same thing for the future generations that come after them. And as young people, you don't think about that stuff, but the sooner you expose them to things like that, the better.
Yeah.
You just got to plant those seeds early
Yes.
and let them discover other things on their own. But that
Yeah.
seed will grow if you
Yeah.
plant it. If you plant it and plant it well enough, it will grow.
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah,
Um, I feel that um, their children would not behave the way that they do, or not necessarily children, but young people, uh,
mm,
if they knew more about their history, about what their ancestors went through to get them um, to be in a free world that they live in. They wouldn't
yeah,
behave the way that they do.
yeah. Especially those children that might be suffering from self-esteem issues. You know, just to know. And listening to people telling them they're nothing or they'll never get anywhere. Like you said, you watched the video with me and Ron, my
Hmm.
brother, and
Yes.
how he had people telling him, you're not gonna be able to do that,"
Boy, did
and
he
that was
prove
just
them wrong, didn't he?
prove them wrong. That was just fuel for to just energize him to make him want to work harder. And said probably if it wasn't for that, he might not have pushed himself as hard as he did to get to the point he got to.
I mean, right up to the end.
Yeah,
From
yeah,
all that I know of him, he he did not even let cancer stop him from doing whatever he wanted to do.
yeah. Most great men do work all the way up until the end, or until they physically cannot, because they always have something to contribute. People used to ask me when my father was going to retire. I said he probably won't. He'll probably, and that's all I said. And what it meant was he probably will get sick and still be working
Mm.
and won't be. He probably. I couldn't imagine him just sitting down and having nothing to do. But one thing he probably would drive my mother crazy. But he was gonna. I knew he was gonna just work until he couldn't do anymore. Yeah, that was just in him, and
I
and
do
like a
know
lot of
some
people
people
are.
like that. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna do something. Look at you.
Me? What?
You very well could be retired somewhere and drinking cocktails and
I am
eating
retired.
bonbons.
I am
What they
drinking a
call it?
cocktail. It's Mountain Dew from KFC.
Oh, well, yeah, I think you hooked on that Mountain Dew. You might need you
That's my
might need some
energy
help.
drink.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You might need some help. You might need some
Yes.
Mountain Dew intervention.
You just seem to catch me every time I'm drinking Mountain Dew. But that's my energy drink. It gives me, because it actually has a lot of caffeine in it.
Yeah, yeah,
A
and
lot of
it
people
tastes good
don't know
too.
that. So it does give you an energy burst. And like you were just saying, there's just always something going on because, I work a full time job and
Yeah,
then I'm doing this and that. So I had to get some energy from somewhere. So that's my it's my
Do,
mountain Dew.
do
That's
you
my
think if when you retired the first time, if you just had to stay retired, I mean, you probably would have still found something to do, even if you weren't
absolutely,
working a job. You probably would be somewhere volunteering.
absolutely.
Well,
I would
you do
be.
kind
I
of do
mean, I
that as
do
well.
still.
Yeah,
I volunteer at a food pantry once a
yeah.
month.
I remember you told.
Yeah, I'm still doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So I even last month, um, I feel committed to it, even though
Mm-hmm.
it's a volunteer thing. It would take something pretty serious for me to just miss. I'm not just going to lay in the bed. I don't feel like going today, that sort of
Yeah.
thing. I know I had promised a close friend of mine that I would come to her birthday party last month in December. So we just happened to have food pantry that same Saturday. That was our food pantry Saturday. So um, I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning and got dressed and went to Swainsboro and did the food pantry. Went back home in
That's
Swainsboro,
commitment.
shower, got back in the car, came back to Atlanta and got dressed and went to her birthday party Saturday night.
Well, that's keeping you going because I truly believe once you settle down or slow down after you've been working and moving all your life, your body is just gonna settle in,
That's
and
true.
no telling what will happen. Everything starts is everything starts breaking down, and you've seen people do that. Come home and just
Yeah.
do nothing, and before you know it,
I've seen
they're either
people
gone or they
that
can't
yeah that I work with.
physically
I mean,
do
they
much.
retired and like within 6 months they were dead.
Hmm.
That's so sad.
Yeah, and
But
it could have been under circumstances, but when you think about it, your body's just not used to, you know, it reacts according to the way you react. I believe, and,
and
and certain people have to keep
a
moving.
lot of people have that belief that I just can't retire. I don't know what I would do. I guess they
Yeah,
need that structure of a job to have that something to do. I'm not one of those people. I can be retired. I would never be bored. I can
yeah.
always find something to do.
I can remember seeing people in the neighborhood that were older, or maybe they weren't as old as I thought, because when you're younger, some people look
They
older,
seem older. Yeah.
and yeah, and I'd be wondering why they still working. But a lot of times it's out of necessity. You know, uh, some of those people might not have had a job where they were collecting Social Security, or a
All
job
different
where retirement funds and nothing like that. So they just had to keep working. I mean, these these would be, and I think they really were older people, not just my perception, but they seemed like they were still working. They might in somebody's yard, or I see them coming home and they'd be walking from a job, and I said, wow.
Mm.
And then as I got older, I would see people of other persuasions that would be about 50 and retire
Mm.
because their family had generated or created generational wealth. And we talk about that a lot now in the Black community,
Mm-hmm.
creating generational wealth. Uh, Not so you can spoil your kids, or to the point where they don't have to do anything. You still have to teach them how that hard work is, but passing on that generational wealth instead of and when we've had maybe we have somebody come on here and talk about that, how young couples, because we didn't think when we were young, if somebody tried to tell us, we wanted all that check. I don't care how big or small the check was.
Because our parents
And
weren't taught that.
yeah, they say put some aside, and you didn't have to put much aside, but we was just, I mean, what we didn't pay the bills with, we were spending it on clothes or going out to the club, or
There
or
was
or,
no
or getting a car that we could have got something a little lesser, and that did the job until we got to the point where we really could afford it. A lot of us lived outside of our means
Yeah.
because we could get the credit, and you know, next thing you know, every time you got paid, you're just a paycheck away from
Poverty.
from poverty.
They didn't have we didn't have the focus, generally speaking, on financial literacy as we do today.
Yeah, and I think I see a lot of young people now that get it, and they're doing some amazing things at a young age with businesses, and because they have saved or they've learned how to invest or making sure they had good credit, because good credit. Because with us, our bad credit habits started in college because they would come to our college and give college students credit because they knew their parents were going to pay it.
Dangerous. Dangerous.
And, give a college kid a credit card and he really didn't have a job. But those companies preyed on them because they know, well, the parent
They're
is going
going
to
to
pay
jump at
for
the
it.
chance.
Yeah. And before you get out of college, you got bad
You're
credit
going to be in
that
all
you have
kinds
to
of debt.
build. Yeah.
Okay. Well, back then, you the focus was on partying. You're in college and you just footloose and fancy free. At least they've kind of harnessed it a little now. They've made rules like freshmen can't have cars, the freshman year in college.
Yeah.
Things like that help. Aside from that, it's interesting. Today in my Bible study class, the person who leads the study, um, he had posed um, a task for the group to um, ask him questions, and
Mm.
he would find, you know, what does God say about this, or what does God say about that. And I was the only one who asked any questions. I have three in there. We did one of them today, and that one
Mm.
was, what does God say about disciplining children?
And what does he say?
Well,
Oh,
we read a lot of passages in the Bible, mostly in Proverbs. Um, and what is interesting, I don't like to talk a lot about religion because everybody doesn't have the same religion that you have. Everybody does not. V. Renee Robinson Pons. Hello. Give
hello.
my love to your wife, Benet. Say, hey, Benet.
Speaking of working, that's what she is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she has that little part-time job and they keep her busy, and then she started doing it, and you know, it's not hard work and gets her out the house, and so. But thank you, Renee.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate you watching, and
So,
anyway, yeah, Renee. I don't know how long you've been on, but uh, I, Shona had a situation with one of her great grandchildren, and maybe she can repeat it if you just got on, and maybe you can uh, let us know if you've been through this with a child at an early age. Go ahead, Shona.
okay. What I was saying was my great grandchild, who is 7 years old, beautiful little chocolate drop, my my lyric, um, with big old curly afro puffs, just beautiful little girl. Anyway, my granddaughter called me last week, and she said that Lyric told her, my granddaughter is, she's lighter skinned than I am. She's very light. Okay, and so Lyric, the great grand, said, "Mommy, you and Lily, which is her older sister, and the baby, who is now a month old, um, you are all light skinned and we're all dark skinned. You don't belong here. You're not black." And my mouth fell open. Like, where in the world did she get that from? So I'm posing it to our viewers, you know, um, how would you handle this? Have you had to address this? What would be your next move um, with my great granddaughter? Because it's a serious issue. Because I personally have known lots of people during my lifetime who are either what old people called color struck, or they have a complex because of their own skin tone, and that
Hey,
just should not be.
I just
So,
just wanted to tell you, I don't know if she's still watching, but Brenda
hey
Sharp
Tank,
Peterson was watching. I think y'all marched together,
hey Tank,
majorette,
yep,
majorette together. What'd you
yeah,
call her?
Tank,
Did you call Tank?
yes. Oh, that we
Oh,
don't call her Tank anymore.
I didn't know about the Tank.
Okay,
I can uh,
my bad. I'm
I
sorry. Are
can
we
I
are
can
we
guess
Brenda?
why,
It's been
but
50 years. I can't. I'm coming in where I left off. Maybe I shouldn't do that.
yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted, if she was still watching, I just want to let you know she was watching. And
Okay,
I
well,
remember last
hopefully
week we
she'll
were
watch
talking
the
about the
playback.
majorettes. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I
Hopefully
see her next time I
she
see
and
her. I'm gonna
Renee
say,
will
"Hey,
watch the
Tank."
playback, and they can respond in the comments, even if not today, but at some time. Because I would love to know your take on it. We give our take on it all the time, but I really want to know what your take on it is, because it could help not only me or my granddaughter, but someone else who finds themselves in a similar situation.
Yeah, and we were talking about how young the age is, 7 to come home with that, but kids at a very young age are curious and they ask those questions, and a lot of times we're not prepared for that. We're
I'm
not
sure
prepared
she
to answer
wasn't.
that. We think it's coming much later,
Okay.
and that's something heavy that grown folks talk about. You know, that you want to talk to your kids about, but you have to talk to them. You have to be prepared
Yes,
for
you
that.
do.
So hopefully, we'll get some advice there that we
Yes.
can share with the audience
And
about.
Nana will address that, because we're not doing that in this family. No. No, that's not what we do. You judge each person on their own merit. It has nothing to do with skin color. Um, it's
Okay,
what's.
this is for Tank. This goes out there for Tank.
Oh, don't do that. She may not want to be called Tank anymore. I never
I'm
even
not going.
thought
I'm
about
not going to call her Tank when I see her
that.
because
Okay.
I don't know what
But
after
that's
50
what I know
years.
her as, and I apologize if I, if that's not how you're addressed now. I just need to know. Just correct me, my bad. But until you say something different, you tank. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, we just everybody had nicknames back then.
Yes, for the most part.
Now Curtis Mayfield won't shut
Curtis
up. Shut up,
Mayfield.
Curtis.
Okay, so um, I didn't mean to take up the whole show with my rant, because that was foremost on my mind, and I meant I was going to bring it up tonight, because I really would like to know your take on it. It's a serious matter, or it definitely could be, or lead to something much deeper if it's not addressed at this point.
Yeah, that was a good subject to bring up, and even though we spent a lot of time on it, because it turns into a subject that we were talking about, colorism, even within our own communities, and we
Mhm.
think there's something that went on a long time ago when we were in high school and coming up, but you might still be dealing with some of that now. Like I
Absolutely.
told you, I saw a recent video of these girls, dark, darker skin and lighter skin, and this was just recent, and they talking about all the issues they have with just the color of their skin, how they treated by men, um, and other women, people in their family, and some of them, well, I think one or two went into therapy
Mm,
behind it. So,
I could,
it can be something serious. So, let us know. Let us know what you think so we can pass that on
because
and
you're
maybe
dealing with
have a,
somebody that has a complex who is now causing you to have a complex.
yeah. And maybe we can bring back Dr. Duncan, who's a professor at Norfolk State and of psychology to talk about that. I'm sure
Yes,
she has some information that might be
yes.
helpful. And plus, so when you're watching out there, let us know what you might want to, and what guests you might want us to have, or if you want to be a guest, feel free to come up here. A lot of people think, well, what would I have to say? And once they
Don't
get
be
up here, we
shy.
can't stop them, you know, from talking. But and that's a good thing.
Yes, it
So
is.
if you want to be a guest, you have something to say, please let us know, and we'll open it up for you to come on and
Mhm.
join us.
Yes, it is.
Especially, an invitation goes out to our 1972 classmates, as well as anybody
I see
from the
Northland High
70s,
School.
on up to now. The IC Norcom.
Yes,
Let us
yes,
know about your IC Norcom experience. Yeah.
yes. We'd love to have
So
you. Okay. So
so we
I'm
kind
looking
of
to have
winding.
some comments. Hmm.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I'm looking to have some comments about the scenario that we have posed. I know the last one that I posed, no one um, really chimed in on that, and I'm serious. I would like to know your take on it.
Yeah, I
The
think it's something that we just have to continue to do, or we might have to figure out a way to bring it on, to make it a part of the show, a
Mhm.
certain part of the show where we do that, and like you did in last time, you did it in the beginning, and
Mhm.
hopefully, but we didn't get any response. But we'll figure a way out that
Don't be
hopefully
shy.
be effective.
Don't be shy. We all
And
family here.
I want to say shout out to Portia James, and Portia James was at Virginia Union with me, and
Okay.
two
Hi,
things that
Portia.
Portia and I had in common. Portia James, at the time, her dad was the president, Alex James of Union at the time, and my dad was on the board of trustees.
Wow.
So we had to walk straight and narrow, which we didn't. But well, I didn't. I'm not telling on you, Portia. But anyway, thanks for watching, Portia. Appreciate you. And that was just about 50 years ago too. That class is celebrating 50 years, uh, 1976,
How
and
quickly time flies.
time flies. And Portia, yep, yep. Portia, I remember. And as a matter of fact, Portia was a majorette in the Union band.
Okay.
So this is majorette night. You know, I really get a kick out of when I see some of my college friends watching. Each week we get somebody watching, so I
That's
appreciate
great.
that. Thanks. Spread the word there in Richmond, Portia. I think you're
Okay.
still in Richmond,
We're going to have to
and that
start putting together some watch parties.
yeah, we have to do something. Yeah, especially uh,
Make some
maybe have a
snacks.
watch party with one of the Union games or something. I wish they still played Norfolk State. That would
Mm,
be interesting, but still play Virginia State and Elizabeth City. But thanks a lot. We made it through tonight. I think. Well, and we apologize that we didn't have a subject or a guest, but um, I had
That was a
a
subject.
busy week last week, and probably it just wasn't on my mind to to put together anything. But I always knew I knew that we could come up here and shoot the breeze, as they used to say,
Yeah.
and talk
It's
about some
not always
things.
going
And
to be heavy subjects. We can't do it like that. This is not
n-
CNN, okay?
n- no, no, but
We're
we get
family here.
close to. And don't forget, y'all, the Virginia General Assembly goes convenes on the, let's see, I think the 17th.
Mm,
So I always like to tell people, make sure you go to the website and keep up with what's going on. You can keep up with all the new bills that's coming on.
yes.
What's a good time to visit? If you know, lot of people don't get involved with the Virginia. You do everything local, but a lot of things they it's real accessible. You know, going up to the state capitol and being involved because a lot of those laws that are being made. And if you are a Democrat, we got a Democrat governor now, which we last 4 years were Republican. So whichever you are, I just happen to be a Democrat and I lean to the left. So. Um, uh, that's the way it is. And so we gained 13 seats in the House. So it's like 34 to 35 in the House and a narrow lead, 21 to 19 in the Senate. So
Wow.
if there are some Democratic agendas that need to be taken care of, this is the time it's going to happen. So make sure you know who your delegate is or who your delegates are and your senators, state senators are, as well as on the national level. But I think it's very important to know your state legislators and your local legislators because you are more directly affected by what they do. You're affected by the national, but sometimes it takes a while for whatever they do to trickle down to us. But you're directly affected by the laws and everything that they do on the state level as well as the local level. A lot of local level funds depend on state level funds that depend on national level funds. But just
That's right.
make sure you keep up with everything. And if you don't, talk to someone that does keep up with those things because it's just something you need to know and pass down to your children. Make sure they're involved, make sure that they vote, make sure they know the value of voting, make sure they know the sacrifices that were made in order
Mm,
for you to vote. And it's just politics is not for everyone, but policies that come out of that are for everyone. So make
yes.
sure you somehow get involved. So,
A lot of the
and
changes that are made are directly affect you.
right.
Um, and you need
And
to know that.
from P Town to ATL, the same thing is going on in Georgia right now, and
That's
some
right.
significant things happened in the last 4 years in Georgia that
Hmm.
need to continue, and
Still,
maybe
still are. You know, they're trying to
still need to
do
get
away
better.
with the state income tax. You know, they'll lose that
Yeah.
revenue, but they're once again trying to bring gambling to Atlanta.
Oh,
That
it's
that
no
would be
gambling
one
in
way.
Atlanta with everything
No,
going on. You
sir.
don't have legalized gambling, no
Atlanta is
casinos.
HOTT without gambling. Just think of what it's going to be like if they bring gambling here. It's going to be
Oh,
another Las Vegas, okay?
yes, yes, indeed. Because you
Yeah.
got everything else. You're
They've
making
been trying
movies.
for years, and
You know,
they may make some headway this time. We'll see.
yeah, Tubi is making movies in Atlanta every week. Some good, a lot bad.
Tubi makes a lot. You know, my niece
Yeah,
has movies on Tubi.
yeah, yeah. You
She
told
keep
me mention those movies. I mean, why you have the audience mention those movies that
well, one is Candy Shop. Let's see. Oh my goodness, she has a whole slew of books in
she has
Walmart,
a
and
lot of books.
those
Her name
movies
is
were made from books that she has written.
And
Um,
her name is Kiki
Kiki Swinson,
Swinson.
Swinson. Google her. You can find her on Amazon. She has a lot of books, although she has her own platform where she sells books in addition to Amazon. Probably her preference would be to buy the books from there, but you can get them on Amazon or Barnes and Noble. She's out there.
Does she still live in Atlanta? Or
Yes, she
did
does.
she ever live here? I know she has ties here in
Yeah,
Portsmouth.
she lived with her mother in Atababa,
Oh, okay. That's right. That's right.
and then my
You know,
mother-in-law's house on Atlanta Avenue.
yeah, I didn't know if her
Born.
parents moved there when she before she was born and she was born there.
No, her
But that's right.
parents
You
didn't
did
move
tell me
in.
she
Kiki
grew up
moved
here.
here just a few. She's been here like I don't know, maybe less than 5 years. She was
Yeah,
living in
but
Virginia Beach. She had lived in Maryland for a while, but she's from Portsmouth.
and
Where
what
she
got
grew
her
up.
what got her interested in writing books and
Oh, her
didn't it,
story is
evidently she had to be an avid reader. Most writers
James. Her story is so interesting. Kiki, when she first started writing books, they were born of her own experiences.
right.
Um,
A
she
lot of
went
people
she
start.
went to prison for 5 years.
Okay.
Her her man was a drug kingpin in Virginia.
Uh,
She went to prison for 5 years. She wrote her first book when she got out of prison. Talk about the comeback kid. I'm so proud
and
of her.
do you remember what her first book was? Because it
Ooh,
was. Did she write? Did she ever write when she was here in Virginia?
absolutely.
Okay, because I remember a long time ago.
And a lot of
Uh,
her books have references to Portsmouth, Virginia Beach, all of that.
yeah,
She
I remember
she
reading
is from Portsmouth.
some books or a book by a local author, and when she was writing about it, the references she made in there was just like the guy that wrote the book "Makes You Want to Holler," and you reading
What?
his book and you knew all the names and stuff, but she would reference the Broadway Club and
Mm-hmm.
and the clubs
It's
in
it's
Portsmouth
the same
and
way with
Virginia Beach and
Kiki.
things like
As
that.
a matter of fact, Kiki came to Atlanta. I'm gonna say maybe about 15 years ago, and she stayed with me at my house. She was coming for a
Hmm.
book signing at Barnes and Noble. That's when Barnes and Noble had brick and mortar stores were popular.
Hmm.
Bookstores were popular. She came for a book signing for one of her books,
They still
and
pretty popular here.
they have brick and mortar stores there.
Hmm.
They have closed down all of them here.
Yeah, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach.
Really?
Yeah, because every once in a while I go to them, and sometimes I just like to go in a bookstore and not particularly looking for a book. Well, I might be looking for a book, but sometimes I like to discover something. You know, I'll just see it and I say, "Well, let me see what this is like." And usually it's something that's kind of interesting. I haven't really found a bad one like that, but you know, just something
Okay.
about bookstores. My daughter's the same way.
Okay. Very quickly, I have Googled Kiki. The overview: Kiki Swinson has written over 35 novels and has sold
Wow,
over 2.5 million copies.
wow.
She is most famous for her series entitled Wifey. Stay tuned for the Wifey TV series. This is my baby that I put diapers on. I'm so
Oh,
proud.
wow. Yeah, yeah. What a story that is, and coming from P Town, and seemed like a lot of people. We talked about the two judges that came from Alabama. You know, and people that come from. humble beginnings like
Bluetooth
that, and
disconnected.
people always talk about these areas, and you're thinking a lot of people come out and say, and I'll switch to Lincoln Park.
Humble
Most of
beginnings.
the guys that I know came out in Lincoln Park that I used to go out there and play basketball with are preachers or deacons, and,
Wow.
or just have businesses and doing real well. I guess the motivation. But because if you talk to them, they talk about it was like a family, a neighborhood, a family where everybody looked out for everybody, and everybody had really strong goals of where they wanted to go. You know, they wanted to get out of there for one thing, and then that drive just stayed with them. And then you
Yeah.
had some that just
Talk
just
about humble.
stayed in that cycle, you know,
Yes,
and
because it's
didn't break
hard.
that cycle. But
It's very
uh,
difficult.
yeah,
When you speak of humble beginnings, Kiki is a major success story. Even her mother, my sister-in-law, um,
hmm
she came from Atababa with her kids, single mother raising her children. She now has the DR title. She's a doctor.
yeah. I mean, it sounds like Eugene Swinson's story.
That's her son. That's Kiki's brother.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
he said,
Kiki's
I
brother.
was uh, when I was interviewing him. Did you come on, or maybe
I
I brought it
watched
up
it.
to him?
I watched it. Yes,
Yeah,
and I made some comments. Yes,
yeah. Because I
when
think
you were doing it
I
live.
did him twice. I did him twice,
I think
and
this was the second time because it
the
was the first
second
time
time it
I
was
had
just the
seen it.
two of us. And the first time it was a panel light, but it
Okay,
was the two of us, and I see him everywhere, and I just appreciate how much he's given back to the
humble beginning.
community. Yep, started out, his own money, just giving back, and
I'm
you
proud of
know
him too. Put
what
diapers
he
on
went
his butt
through.
as well.
Yeah, and he's out there making a real difference, with the young people out there. Sometimes
Yeah,
you have to get them a few at a time, and but all we don't always hear about those stories, the success stories. But
we'll have
that
to
doesn't bother him, long as he
we'll have
knows
to have him on our
and they
show.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, we'll bring him back on our show. He will enjoy that. Swenson to Swenson. Sounds like a
he
law
wouldn't
firm, but
remember me because I left Portsmouth so long ago. He was just a little boy.
yeah, yeah, he was trying to, trying to remember, but
Yeah,
he did say he was a little,
I know he knows of me.
of
Yeah.
you. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, maybe and maybe we have the whole Swenson family on.
Are you familiar with Sunshine Swenson?
Yeah, she has a business
That's their
downtown.
sister. That's another one of
Yeah,
their siblings.
yeah. Sunshine was very busy here in the city of Portsmouth as well as a businesswoman.
Yes,
Portsmouth fan as well as Suffolk. So yeah, the drive,
the drive.
the drive.
Yeah,
And
we'll talk about the drive one day too.
yeah, yeah. Well, anyway,
Yes,
thanks everybody, and thank
time to go
you
night night.
for being patient with me tonight, and hopefully I didn't get too crazy for you. Let's
I'm
see.
just glad you were able to make it back safely. And again, we
Bluetooth
all
connected.
um, have been praying for you and your family, and I'm glad you got
Yeah,
that
we
behind.
appreciate that. Yep, yep. And yeah, I talked to his wife today. Well, either I talk to her or I text her every day, and well, I've been texting her, and then later on, you want to make sure you talk to him because after all the dust settles,
Yes,
then you're there by that's when it kind of hits you
yes.
because
Mm-hmm.
but she has quite a bit of family
That's good.
around her, her sons and his sons and daughter. So, but anyway, that's
Okay.
life, as Frank Sinatra says.
Yeah, it is. Um, so before we go, subscribe, 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 click like, and share if you
And
care.
share, share, share.
Share
You
if
know,
you
share.
care.
Tell a friend. Well, what's that guy? Remarkable Farm Fresh. What's that guy's name? Anyway, he used to be the owner of Farm Fresh. He'd come on the commercial. And at the end, he always say, tell a friend, you know, about Farm Fresh.
Share
So
if you
tell a
care.
friend about our
Yeah.
take on it featuring
Yeah.
Slim and Shona.
Grow
And
with us.
roll with us. Help us grow this thing we call a podcast. And as we said, be a part of it. Join us. You know, we're open and we're creating a family here on
Yes,
social media. And no telling where we're going to go with this,
that's
where we
right.
end up,
So subscribe
family,
while
a
it's free
business.
because
Yeah.
it may not always be free.
Yes. Yeah. Help us out. Help us get those numbers up so we can make some noise in the social media world
Hmm.
and share some information. That's our main goal, to share information that might help somebody along the way. If I could help somebody along the
Oh, do you
way,
remember?
then
Oh
my
my goodness.
living will
Who
always
used to
be in
sing that
vain.
in Norcom? Oh, he had a beautiful baritone voice.
Uh, during our day, our
Yeah,
seniors' days, or because I remember being a sophomore, and that class of 1970 was one of the most talented classes as far as
he used to sing
athletics,
that song, man. I
the
can still hear
choir, the choir and the band, everything. I mean, the assemblies used to be like productions.
it. Yes,
Broadway productions. The
yes.
band would be playing, and they had
So
some.
much talent.
I don't know if we think about the same guy. It was he had kind of operatic voice,
Yes,
and but used to sing that song too. And Miss Hayward playing the organ.
yes. Beautiful,
Yes,
beautiful. He
indeed.
had a
Those
beautiful.
were the days.
Yes,
All
I
right,
think.
everybody. Take care, and we thank you. Um,
Don't forget, subscribe. We'll see you next Tuesday, 7 o'clock. Be there or be square. Okay.
evidently, he didn't like what you said.
Be there or be square. You heard what I
Yeah.
said.
All right, everybody. Take care. We
Next
just
Tuesday at 7.
rambling
See
on
you
now,
next
but
time.
we had a
Yes.
good time. And stay on a minute, Shona.
Okay.